Three mere mortals discover their ability to create entire universes with their minds alone. Upon discovering their abilities, these three, gods if you will, join forces to create the Dark and Stormy Nights, a supercharged team of creatives with the aim of helping artists and writers around the world while combating the forces of boredom and mundanity. They are the Dark and Stormy Nights.
Bruh, welcome back to the Dark Stormy Nights, yeah.
Don't do that.
Really?
Sorry, we were talking about Chads.
No, all the Chads hate you. Good for the good job.
Bruh, I don't care. They don't read.
The Chads that fit
God.
that fits his stereotype, yeah, won't be listening. The Chads who don't, sorry about your name.
Sorry, all non-Chad Chads. All right, I apologize
Yes, to the non-Chad Chads.
for your unfortunate naming.
Yeah.
So, we are back with another exciting episode.
Let's hope.
That's already exciting. I got Tear laughing. That's what matters, right? She's a tough nut to crack.
I'm easily abused. I don't know what you're talking about.
Odin, you want to tell us where we've been, where we're going?
Okay. We are on episode 37,
What's this
chapter 24.
What's this clicking thing you're doing?
I don't know.
What is that? Is there a squirrel nearby?
Lack of hydration. My apologies.
Okay.
I think that we're going to have to come to expect some like quirkiness from Odin today, considering he's downing the straight Death Wish coffee.
Yeah, my knees are vibrating a bit,
Yeah.
but I'm awake, so
But
trade-offs.
He's clicking. I'm not sure I can handle that. I don't know what that's about.
I predict it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Right. We're going to get attacked by squirrels before the show's done, I think.
All right.
I like my nuts. Don't.
So at any rate, we're coming off of my chapter, which was, let's see.
Definitely about
Desmond
something.
returns back to the land of the living, but he's not quite Desmondy.
Not very Desmondy.
No. He comes up with a plan to do something, but he's not revealing it to anybody. And they invaded the Museum of Natural Philosophy for the new science exhibit and take a few widgets off and invade a brewery, which is followed by some violent murders.
I can understand the invading a brewery thing, but you praise brewers, you don't murder them.
I agree, but he is a villain, so.
That's true.
And he's making his own sort of brew.
Beer hater. So, all right, and so I'm going to continue this. Hopefully I did it justice. Nobody else here read it, so it's just what came out of my brain. Do you want me to jump into it?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, it seems like a good-sized chapter, so I say go for it. And then if we need to make any adjustments as we go, we'll do that.
Do you know where you're breaking?
Roughly.
Okay.
So, all right, bear with me. I've got a little bit of a sinusy thing going on, so I apologize. All right. A fancy motor coach is parked in the shadows between two streetlights. In a part of town one might describe as less than savory, if one were polite. And if one thought too hard while staring at the spectacle, they may notice how the shadows seemingly bend to fit the motor coach within them. The vehicle's decadent details spell out one of two story possibilities to anyone who takes notice. Either its owner is the owner of a local establishment who has done well for themselves, or the second and more likely possibility, a person of means with nefarious intentions is making a bare minimum attempt to stay hidden, to add conspicuousness to an already suspicious situation. A large brute, I spelled it wrong, huddles within his pea coat while reading a paper in the rain and leaning against a vehicle. The bowler hat upon his head wiggles as he speaks, giving away the events that are actually unfolding here. The commanding voice spills out from within the motor coach. This better be good. I was already in my pajamas. Oh, it is, boss. And what lovely pajamas they are, I might add. Caleb spoke softly in his deep, gravelly voice. Thank you, the voice from inside the coach acknowledges. They are footy pajamas, and they are super comfortable. Caleb paused a moment to take in the situation and then decided to continue with his mission. Caleb, though making every attempt to whisper, could not help but speak in a voice that carries. "Desi's lost his bleeding mind, sir," Caleb exclaims, as quietly as his voice allows. "We had the minds to rebel. We had the minds to leave. To just abandon him right then and there. But then something happened." "What do you mean?" the voice from within the coach inquired. "What happened?" The masculine voice, dark, smooth, to the point, and intense. It was as if he was suddenly... Caleb paused a moment. "Suddenly what?" the voice demanded. "Well, capable, dangerous, worthy," Caleb exclaimed humbly. The men suddenly fell in line behind him. It was as though they were willing to do his every bidding without question. It was the first time I had ever witnessed the boys fall in without a grumble. "Interesting," the voice pondered. "Can we use it?" "I don't think so, sir. Jennifer says he's dangerous." "Dangerous how?" "She says she believes he's an ancient evil being." Caleb chuckles a moment. Named, get this, Linda. Caleb chuckles a few more times. "Linda, you say?" The voice from within the motor coach sounds worried. "Yeah, isn't that funny? Linda? It's got a girl's name." "You idiot." The voice from the motor coach hisses at Caleb. Caleb recoils a moment. "If it is the being I'm thinking, this might be bad for all of us. Tell me everything from the beginning." Caleb recounts the entire tale from the moment Desmond sat straight up on the table until now. Less the details that make him look bad, of course. The man inside the motor coach listens quietly. The only sound emanating from inside the coach are those of pages turning and pencils on paper. "I see," sighs the man in the motor coach. "So this Jennifer knows of us. Well, does she or doesn't she?" Yes, but what? It's not my fault." "How is this not your fault? You, I, and Jenkins, my driver, the only ones who know, or the only people who know of our arrangement thus far. Neither Jenkins or I told Jennifer of this arrangement, so it must have been you." "No, sir, it's not like that." "What exactly is it like, then?" "Well, you see, sir, she's a witch. Like, she's got actual ability. Not like Desi, who needs the stabs and books and all that. She's a real witch, I think." "You think?" "Well, I've seen her do stuff, and she knows things." "She knows things? What kind of things?" "Well, she knew Desi was possessed. I just thought he was whacked out of his head a little too hard, and she knew whatever he was making is going to get us all killed or something, or eat us or something like that. So if this Jennifer knows so much, is she dangerous?" "Oh, yes." "Do we need to eliminate her?" "Not yet. We still need her. She's in there right now, keeping him busy. He doesn't seem to care who has stayed as long as someone has stayed to help him. She's doing her best to slow down his progress so we can get done what we need to." "What exactly is it you need and why?" "Well, you see, boss." "Get to the fucking point, Caleb." All right. "There's this plan we made. With any luck, it should be hopping off shortly." "What does that mean?" "I'll get to it, but first we need your help." "Well, what is it?" "Well, you're some kind of a priest, ain't you?" "Yes, Caleb, I'm a bishop." "Some might say that's better than a priest." "Wonderful. A couple of the boys and I have stolen a water truck from the fire department. I need you to bless it for us." "Okay, not one more word until I hear this plan of yours." All right. "So Jennifer says that when water and dry ice mix, they make fog. So we need to... we're going to make a giant holy water demon fogger to smoke out the old bugger. I had Chuck go steal some dry ice. Me and Marvin stole a water truck, and Roberta should be on with that crow fella's staff any moment now. Jennifer says we can make the fog to weaken this Linda chap, and then use the staff to pull Linda out of the old demon." The man in the carriage sits silently a moment and almost whispers, Your plan is so stupid it just might work. Are you sure we couldn't hire this Jennifer?" "I think she has an agenda that may conflict with ours, boss." "That's too bad. She's proving more capable than Desmond ever was." "I know, it's kind of hot and sort of scary at the same time." All right, we'll stop there.
Well, I think it's really good so far, and I'm glad to see that we're putting humor back in this comedy. So
Was it funny?
it was funny.
What do you think of the plan?
I like the plan.
It's interesting. Yeah.
And it's scientifically accurate. Well, I don't know about the holy water thing, but
So
The question is, can an evil priest access holy magics?
I know, right? I didn't want to overthink it, though.
he's still a bishop
Right.
ordained by the church and whatnot. Technically, I think yes.
Yeah, the Church of Man. I don't know if God would still talk to this guy.
I don't know if it would apply to Linda, but it's going to.
My only question is, it looks like, what did Caleb reveal Talbot to Jennifer? Is that what you were saying?
He says no.
Okay. So Talbot thinks that.
He says Caleb thinks that Jennifer knows,
Gotcha.
but
okay.
but he didn't tell her.
I feel that after all is said and done, that Talbot would turn his sights to either kill her or drive her out of the...
I think that's what we just spelled out.
Okay.
But remember, didn't she see him between the buildings in a previous chapter?
She saw the shadows. She doesn't
Yeah.
know who he is.
Yeah, but she knows something's going on.
She knows something's up. Yeah.
So there is something to it.
Okay.
So, any comments? Any thoughts? Did I miss anything? I know I stuttered a bit. My program keeps jumping.
No, it was...
I really liked it. I like your kind of ominous beginning there, and how it's kind of like zooms in a little to the two men talking, and I really enjoyed your pajamas bit. Because, yeah, I feel like we've been kind of heavy lately. It's been a little bit dark, and now we have a little bit more humor in there.
Okay, now, Desmond's wearing pajamas? Is that what I heard?
Talbot's wearing
Talbot's
pajamas.
Oh,
wearing
Talbot
pajamas.
is. Okay. It's like, what is he doing? Okay. I mean, it's possible, but...
Well, no, we have no Desmond as of the moment, so.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I like it. I wouldn't really change anything.
Do you want me to move on already?
We've got time.
Yeah, I
Odin
think that's up
forgot
to you.
to,
And we're planning on plotting after this. So, I mean, if we get into a little extra sorting things out, we do have a lot to work out as far as plotting goes, because we need to start meshing where we're at into the ending that we had originally plotted. So,
Right.
if you want to keep reading, I'm good with that.
Okay. You a strange man, Caleb. Sorry, boss. Just show me this water truck and we will see what we can do. Caleb spots an a swaying, eerie blue light approaching from the distance. We need to be quick. I think that's Roberta, and by the looks of it, she's coming in hot. The man in the coach slips from his seat into the shadows of the alley in one smooth motion, never breaking the cover of shadow. Caleb stands focused on the light as it approaches fast from down the long, dark brick road. The handle of the door of the motor coach still tight in his hand, the blue light swaying and bobbing in an almost disembodied fashion, as if it's the only thing that Caleb can make out in the darkness. Broken by the occasional dim street light, the suspense has almost completely captivated Caleb to the point that he takes no notice of the man in the shadows chanting and blessing the water truck and its contents. His mumbles and hymns, his page-turning and punctuated motions go almost completely unnoticed until, almost as fast as it started, the man in the shadows pours himself back into the coach and then yanks the door free of Caleb's grasp. Only then does Caleb look down. Caleb stutters out. It's done, Caleb. Oh, okay. I will be near, but out of sight. Okay, boss. The coach sputters to life and rolls down the street with a slight rattle. Caleb turns his attention back to the task at hand. He begins to back the water truck up to the brewery, just as Chuck has returned with the truck of dry ice. Yeah. It would be tight, but it looks as though the plan was coming together. Caleb could almost make out Roberta running at them. As he hopped out of the truck and unhooked the hose, Chuck backed the dry ice truck up to the doors of the brewery. Caleb hauled the water hose over and dropped it into the ice truck. Caleb could see another figure now behind Roberta. Damn it, Caleb thought. It's that crow bloke. They were going to have to move faster now. Maybe they could lose him in the fog, Caleb thought. Roberta was almost there. Caleb waited with his hand on the valve, ready to crank it the moment Roberta was close enough. Crow was gaining on her. Sweat rolled down Caleb's brow as the anticipation overwhelmed him. Just as Roberta was close enough to illuminate the outer edge of the beast they call Linda, he released the valve, pumping holy water over the dry ice, causing it to form a rapid and dense fog. Crow stops cold. Caleb freezes, and chills run down Roberta's spine as the full view of the beast as the full scope of the beast comes into view. Linda's sheer enormity is heart-stopping. The fog and staff together have illuminated the entirety of Linda's mass, showing her to be a striking 4 stories in height. An enormous goat-like eye sits centered in what one could only guess was the forehead, as it could be found just above the creature's screeching beak, while the rest of Linda was covered in a coat of large tentacles. The creature's form, though a wispy light blue, was a horror to behold. Sparks could be seen coming from inside the brewery, and then a single white human form can be seen floating to her mouth. Chuck and Marvin began to run away as Caleb and Roberta stand there in horror, watching the spectacle that it is now clear they were unprepared for. Sparks of spirit energy run along the surface of Linda's spectral form as the gaseous cloud of holy water collides with it. Linda's attention is drawn to the fleeing henchman. Linda reacts by swinging a spectral tentacle down towards them. However, when the duo notices, they split up, trying to avoid the coming attack. Without effort, Linda splits her tentacle in two, slamming down on both henchmen at the same time. The spectral nature of Linda left the carnage in full view of everyone. In one smooth motion, Crow snatches his staff from the fear-stricken Roberta, leaping into the air and severing a spectral tentacle that was aimed at crushing the paralyzed woman. The tentacle splashes to the ground and dissipated out of existence, as if constructed of the fog itself. Linda let out a bone-chilling screech of pain and fury that vibrated the very breath in the chest of all who could hear it. The front wall of the brewery crumbled to the ground, revealing the mostly fear-stricken cult inside. Jennifer stood by Linda's side as if under its control, but it was clear that fear gripped even her. She stood tight as though her body fought her every move. She struggled against her own trembling muscles and slowly made her way to the corner where Desmond's own cobra staff sat against the crumbled wall. Jennifer knew this was her only opportunity, as Linda was distracted. As chaos played out in plain view, Desmond held aloft by one hazy blue tentacle as if he was some sort of finger puppet. His arms went about commanding the elements of his task while his legs dangled limply. The levitation that once looked so commanding and powerful now seemed pathetic as the curtain was pulled aside for all to see. Nonetheless, Linda continued to channel its power through Desmond to complete its task. Desmond reached back during his work and held his hand aloft. After a dramatic pause, Desmond clenched his fist, and Linda used every tentacle in her it had left to possess what henchman it could. Linda rallied its newly possessed army in front of itself, speaking through the wall of henchmen, each with an individual but obviously fake voice. The men rallied cries of, "Let's get him!" and "We're gonna break your bones!" and "I rather enjoy being possessed," could be heard in various bad accents. Some of the possessed henchmen even spoke with other henchmen who had escaped their fate. "Come on, guys. Let's kill that annoying twat with the lantern, eh?" Bill, is that you?" Yeah, it's me, old boy Bill." "Now come on, then. Let's kill that son of a bitch, yeah?" "Bill, are you possessed?" "What, me? No, I'm not possessed." "But I can see the bloody tentacle up your ass." No way, man. I ain't possessed. That there is just fun. That's all. You should try it when one frees up." "But Bill, you don't sound." Sorry. This is unprofessional. Bill runs him through with a large blade. "Aw, mate, you got too many questions. We got killing to do, don't we?" As he crumbles to the ground, the stabbed henchman gurgles out his last words. "But, Bill, I thought we was the best pals." "No worries, mate," the puppeted Bill responds. "I was going to kill you for shagging your wife anyhow." Finally losing his patience with the display, Crow attacks, severing tentacle after tentacle, causing them to spill to the ground, dissipate in the smoke, and reform as part of Linda. It is futile to attack my etheric form. I will simply reclaim my spirit energy and return unharmed. Linda gloats through the voices of each henchman as Crow attacks the tentacles that hold them. Once he realizes that Linda is telling the truth, he pauses, exhausted, out of breath, to assess the situation. He looks over his work to see Linda reclaiming the henchman severed from its control. Wispy tentacles regrow up the rear ends of the victims. Crow groans in aggravation. Linda regains control and sends its henchmen at him with everything it has. Linda flings forth its tentacles with men at the end of each, like an army of finger puppets. Crow, now on the defensive, begins to sever limbs, knowing it is futile, but the only way to defend itself. Just as it all seems hopeless, Jennifer strikes the fallen limbs with a blast from Desmond's cobra staff. Some kind of heat ray blasts away Linda's spiritual energy, rendering the fallen limbs charred. Linda's attention shifts to Jennifer as it shrieks, blowing her back, but not down. Crow turns from defensive to offensive, now attacking with vigor any limb that attempts to hit Jennifer. Jennifer now blasting every limb that hits the ground. The onslaught proves too much. When one of the henchmen gets through, bashing against Jennifer clumsily as if thrown, Jennifer slams to the ground hard, and the staff goes flying, landing below Desmond's dangling feet. You want me to stop there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are we stop?
Yeah, I think
Go
we
to
should
break?
go to commercial.
Okay.
Sure.
We'll go to break. We'll be back in a little bit.
In a topsy-turvy world, it's nice to have something that makes sense. This isn't it, but we hope you enjoy it anyways.
Okay, so we're back. I read a little further than I intended to, but so we only have a little bit left. But okay, what do you think so far?
Oh, good. I would like to, when you had the multiple people speaking, I don't think that you really played up how eerie and creepy that would have been. I mean, you just said it matter-of-factly, but I mean, you're in a 4-story building. It's echoing off the walls. You have, probably, 50 people?
It's actually supposed to feel a little sillier, right? Because it's almost like a child playing with action figures.
Yeah, I suppose.
Because
but it
you
would
can
be
actually
creepy as
see the
shit.
tentacles up the asses of the villains.
I don't know. I kind of loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was much funnier than it should have been. It was
Well, I heard Tyr actually physically laugh during
I
it.
was
so
laughing. It
I
was
don't-
funny.
I don't make her laugh too often.
Yeah, I try to back off the
I
mic
don't know
because
what
that
you're
was
talking about. I laugh at
ridiculous.
you all the time.
Well, I mean, when I write the chapter,
Because you guys haven't you haven't been doing a lot of
Yeah,
humor in
it's
your
been a little
chapters.
serious
You
lately.
guys have been very dark, but yeah, this is.
I kind of went
think
for broke on the.
I
on
think it's
humor.
hilarious.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's dark and moody, but really, it's a god playing with toys. So I guess that could be rather humorous. I mean, why would he have to take it seriously? He's all powerful.
Oh, there's anything dark.
That's
in
the
movie, but
point.
this
Yeah.
just it's a ridiculous. If you're not in danger, if you were not in danger witnessing this whole thing, it's ridiculous.
but it's really funny. There is a little crackle.
Is there?
Oh yeah, I'm getting clicking.
Really?
No, but I mean, as far as the fight itself goes, the back and forth between Bill and who's the other person here?
I don't think I said.
Oh, Bill and his buddy that he's planning on shagging his wife.
Might it be
I thought
Chuck?
it. No, it's
No.
not Chuck, because Chuck and Marvin come in later.
Okay.
But I thought it was freaking hilarious. I wouldn't change a thing about any of that. Oh, I'm sorry, Chuck. The only thing that I had a problem with was the fact that it seems like everybody is jumping into the fight, and Roberta was just standing there frozen. I get that as an initial reaction, But I feel like at some point Roberta is going to,
Do
as
what?
much as Jennifer, is in there.
It was my phone.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you're getting interference.
My phone was interfering with our stuff. I apologize if you guys heard that at home. I didn't hear it at first. My phone was interfering with the electronic equipment.
Interesting. Anyway, so that's my only concern is that, you know, Roberta stands there frozen and then she's out of the rest of the fight. I feel like, you know, she'd be in there as much as Jennifer was. No?
I don't know. I mean, she might beat
Is
back
it
humans.
is it my
but
little crush on Roberta that's making me say that?
Well, okay, so I felt like this fight actually isn't that long. And it seems like it might be, but it's really not. And first off, like, Crow took the staff from her immediately. You know?
Right, no, I know. And but
And what are you going to do?
I
Shoot
know
at the spectral guy?
No, but she might fight the possessed humans. That I could see.
they have
They have tentacles up their asses.
Yeah,
the puppet
spectral
minions,
tentacles.
or like maybe she would run to
Even
Jennifer's
Crow is
side.
not trying to directly attack the
I did want to
guys
ask you
that are
about that, though.
possessed.
Because it went by so quick, and it seemed like you were reading a bit fast towards as it got more manic.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's just
Tentacle
a habit I
splits
have.
into it two and hits both of them and squishes them. It's a ghost tentacle. How does it squish them? How does that work?
It's a god's ghost tentacle.
Did it squish their soul?
It went ghost subway scene on them.
I mean, it's lifting everybody up by their asses.
Yeah, but that's like, I don't know, telekinesis or something. I don't know how. There's so many ways you could explain these things. But that's
Okay.
that's all I'm asking.
No?
So it actually squished the meat.
Did you guys not see Umbrella Academy? You Patrick Swayze'd me? No?
Yeah, but I don't remember it that well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's poltergeist-like ability, right?
Hmm? That's what I'm saying. Subway scene and ghost. There's
I-
precedent. It's allowed.
Linda is a god. She can summon your manager at will.
All right. I guess if you can telekinetically throw people, you can telekinetically make the
By
edge
the
of
way,
your
if we put Linda into our like,
soul
game
body
system.
reference, you know the what they call what do they call that in video games? You know, the contact zone. It's like a mesh map or mapping or something like that. I think you can harden the air around the surface of your spirit tentacle. So I guess that makes some sense.
whatever you need to tell yourself.
It's the same bullshit that they used to explain Superman having all powers when really it's one power.
But if we put Linda into our monsters manual in our game system, whatever we want to call
Does
it.
anybody know what your game system is?
Not
Not yet, but we're working
It
on
does not yet have a name. I have
So-
not yet copyrighted.
But Linda can summon 1d4 managers.
Jesus Christ.
So. All right, so far so good, pretty funny.
Yeah, I
What's your
like
favorite
it.
part?
Huh?
What's your favorite
Oh,
part?
it's got to be the two guys conversing with the.
Really, that was good.
It's
Yeah, it
the
was
two,
so
it's the two
ridiculous.
guys conversing or the pajamas.
If I see a possessed dude, I'm just going to either hack at Spirit Limb or hack at him. I'm not going to conversation with him, converse with him while he's,
Did
trying to tell me
did-
I'm not possessed.
Did you get the voice I was using? Do you know who that was?
Philip and Terrence? I don't know. I wasn't.
Ricky
paying-
Gervais. That was.
Oh,
I did not.
You didn't
pick
feel
that
the
up.
Ricky Gervais in that?
I mean,
I'm not his
I think I
biggest
could see
fan,
that.
but I felt like he was the possessed guy. You know?
Not possessed.
No, mate, that's not me.
Don't be silly.
That's just for fun. That was great. I mean, it could be fun. It could be.
I was actually thinking of
Don't knock it till you try it, I suppose.
that-
We're not
that-
here to judge.
multi-episode arc of Futurama, The Beast with 1,000 Backs.
I'm trying to remember.
They all were bound by a tentacle from a beast from the fifth dimension.
Oh my
so
god!
they were all
yeah.
dating it at once.
Yeah. I forgot about
It was
that.
sort of like the movie Her before it existed.
Yeah, but they were still free-willed, weren't they?
I mean, it had addictive qualities from what I remember. They're being heavily manipulated, but yeah, it kind of felt a little like that.
So the tentacle beast was kind of like gaslighting everybody, and
Well, I kind of feel like they're possessed with its will, but they're still them. Because he
Right.
had access to all his memories. He just had new desires.
yeah, you're just a finger puppet to Linda.
Literally.
Yeah, just puts his finger up your ass, and you're hers, his. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. They, them. I think
I think they're beyond
they're a they.
gender.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they're a they. So it's good. It probably possesses all genitals.
True.
I'm sure that's true.
I've never looked though. When we get back to the story, we'll check under its tentacles.
I mean, technically, Linda has no shortage of phallic-shaped objects
That's true.
attached to
That's
her.
true.
Well,
So.
And
I
usually
can't
in an
remember if it's
octopus,
squid,
one of its tentacles
octopi,
is a penis. Yeah.
But I don't know how that works with the women then.
Well, and then they just rip it off and throw it at you. So.
Oh, yeah, I think they leave it behind and like regrow another
Yeah,
one.
here you go. Like that's like.
I don't think they throw it. Don't
That's
they
Why
just
is
leave
it, that should become a human mating ritual? I think.
that is
Cut it
for
off
some
and
guys.
throw
yeah.
it.
I think they just throw it at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever been online? You get up the pictures. That's
I'm not
just-
talking about the pictures. I'm saying like what who was the artist who cut off his ear? Like I'm saying you
Van
put it in
Gogh.
a box.
Picasso?
And
Oh,
mail
no,
it.
that was Van Gogh, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
It
You just
was
want,
Van Gogh.
You just want guys to Van Gogh their penis at you. You know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't send me a fucking picture.
So
put it in a box.
I get a lot of excitement
please
and then
don't.
nothing for 2
And then
months.
you're like, who put this dick in this box?
However,
Step one.
that would be 2 months of high productivity. So there's that.
Jokes. I want to see 0 penises. Please don't send them.
right. Nobody wants your dick pic unless they specifically asked, and they probably just asked to laugh at it with their friends.
Yeah, I don't
Look, it's
understand that.
lumpy.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Come on, man.
Oh.
It looks like Paul Giamatti.
Although I hear they're actually working on a cure for that. Testing it on rats right now.
Lumpy dick.
Yep. Yeah.
That dramatic pause is on purpose. I was computing.
Things you never thought you'd have a conversation about. Although with this crowd, I don't know why I ever rolled any conversations.
Hey,
as
the-
I'm
off
surprised we have
limits.
any listeners.
The real world is stranger than fiction. The burden of fiction is to be believable.
Yeah.
Reality doesn't have to conform to that in the least.
No, reality owes you nothing. But you know what's sad is, I mean, okay, look, guys, we were joking about the like mailing your dick thing or anything like that because if any of you cut off your penis and send it to a woman, we are not responsible. Okay, the girl does
Oh
not.
my
want
God,
that.
no! Nobody wants that. They don't want your
No, I
pictures.
know, but you
they
gotta
don't
tell
want
people
that.
now. If you're joking about something, you have to tell people that you're joking about it because people just don't get it.
I guess. I mean,
I just want to be sure
yeah.
that we are clear about this.
Okay,
I mean,
I'm
we're-
going to tell you the most obvious thing in the world that you should already know.
Uh-huh.
If any woman or man wants to see your penis, they will ask you.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. Was that
So
clear
would,
enough?
would you like
I
to
feel
read your
like
next
I
shift?
feel like it's obvious. I feel like it didn't need to be said, and yet here we are.
It should need to be said, but here's the thing. I think we are in an age where all this stuff needs to be said. You know, I mean, I made a joke the other day and people took it way too seriously, and some people thought I was being real, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so obviously a joke.
Right. Oh, it happens.
So-
It happens. I've seen that happen as well, but
Now you got me curious, but I want to keep her listener, so we'll keep moving on.
All right. Okay, so I have basically 1 page of this left, so I went
Make
way
it good.
I went way further than I expected to. I didn't expect to read 5 pages in the last, but that one conversation I think carried us through 2 pages. So,
yeah.
but okay. Where do we end?
I think you're
Dangling
on,
feet.
Yes, Desmond's dangling feet.
Okay. The fallen henchman lifts from the ground and is dragged over Jennifer. The tentacle pushes the henchman's body down on her and begins to crush. The weight and pressure are so much that Jennifer begins to pass out when Crow attacks the beast. One hand on Desmond, one hand on his staff. Crow anchors energy to Linda and begins to pull. Linda is rooted deep in Desmond, and Crow struggles to pull it free. Spiritual energy sparks all around them, stinging anyone close enough. Linda is finally weakened enough for Jennifer to pull free. Jennifer focuses here's one. I'm going to stop for a second. I should have written a piece where Jennifer gets the staff back from under Desmond. So we'll have to
Like rolls his body or something?
Yeah, well, because the staff actually went under Desmond.
Is he conscious?
Kinda. He's
Okay.
doing.
What if when Crow, because Crow, it says Crow put a hand on Desmond, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he could kick it over to her.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, maybe we can do something like that. But yeah, that was definitely a mistake I noticed before we started reading.
Yeah, I was actually thinking from Crow's perspective that, okay, you know, here he is surrounded by villains. He's prioritizing. I could see him, you know, like making temporary alliances for the greater good kind of
Well, no,
scenario.
I think that's all of it. Everybody's just desperate to get this thing to go away.
Because, I mean,
Because
he's
this
really
is-
saving a villain, a lot of villains.
Maybe, but the fact of the matter is that Linda is the biggest threat in the room.
Right.
So, all right. So let's get back to this. Jennifer focuses the Cobra staff on Linda, unleashing its power. The staff uncoils to its full 2-meter length. It emanates power like Jennifer has seldom felt. A beam of pure necrotic energy spills forth, burning Linda, who regenerates almost as fast. Crow uses his lantern staff to pull with everything he has, trying to yank the demon god free of Desmond. Linda struggles and, and screams a sound that would curdle the blood of most fearless warriors. The sound rattles London. The energy coming off of the battle would rival the best laser Floyd show ever seen. In one blinding blast, in one deafening boom, a pulse rocks the city. A ring of blue and pink light permeates everyone and everything within miles. Just as dawn breaks, a fog hangs over the destroyed brewery. Caleb digs himself out of a shallow pile of rubble. Jennifer rubs her head and tries to focus through the bright, eerie morning light and dust. Henchmen lay dead all around. Crow and his staff lay limp against a wall caved in. With his impression across the street from the brewery, Desmond is holding his staff, seemingly finishing what he started and talking to himself. "Oh," he exclaims excitedly, "I can use that," lifting a broken coil into place with his staff. Sorry about that pause. I'll have to fix that.
Wait. What was that? Who took a...
That was Desmond. So he recovers instantly. The second the demon's gone, he's up and hey, I can still use this, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
that's
so he
interesting.
now has his staff back.
Yeah. And he's back in control of his body.
I was kind of hoping that since Jennifer, in the long run of the book, is not getting away with the second book, I was hoping she'd at least steal the staff. You know, kind
I
of
mean, there's no saying she can't.
consolation
Well, he
prize.
still gets arrested. So let's not forget that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no
They're
saying
not,
she
they're not
can't in
going to
the
let
future.
him walk off with the staff in the coach with him. So
Now, you said, left an impression. Are you talking
yeah.
about like the
What I
Hiroshima
meant
bombs?
was what I meant, and I may have to reword that. Or it felt funny to me when I was reading it, and so I'm going to have to like edit that up. But basically, yes, there's the wall is caved in the shape of Crow, and he is slumped against it with his staff.
Okay. I thought you were talking about like Linda was burnt into the walls from the Flash.
No.
That would be
Oh,
cool.
but that would be cool too.
She exploded. That's not a bad idea. That's something we can
Mhm.
definitely add in. So
Like
if
the
somebody wants to,
imprint of tentacles charred into the
Yeah.
wall.
well,
It-
I can't write anything in this because this is a sealed document. But if anybody wants to make a note
I
of
have
that,
it. Okay, I will make a note.
Yeah, because if you're not aware,
last time I had a chapter edited while I was reading it.
You lost pieces.
I think I put things in that weren't supposed to be there. But anyways, this time I'm read on a locked document, so it wouldn't do that.
Okay.
I was just saying for those who aren't aware, when we dropped the 2 bombs, during World War II,
Oh yeah, the shadow imprints. Yeah,
was literally baked into the wall.
yeah, it's not a bad thought. Yeah, well, think about that. How do you cover that up for London? It's like no, nothing happened here.
The other thing is, while I enjoyed it, I think it's out of place, the Floyd reference.
Well, okay, so I thought
I do
I
love
thought
the
of
visual.
making the mention of Laser Freud instead of Laser
Oh,
Floyd.
Jesus. I don't know. And
But-
the only other thing is there's nothing disparaging. I just would maybe add, you were talking about this, like, it got louder and then there was this buildup of energy. I might have added in, like, some sort of high-pitched noise or something, and then, like, spiders and, like, rats were running away right before that pulse goes
Was
out.
it in one blinding blast and one deafening boom? A pulse rocked the city.
I don't know. Maybe I was just seeing more in my head, but I could just see, like, vermin scurrying away as this is building up to a boiling point. It might be fun. I don't know.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I was caught between the visual of the scene where it was and kind of describing how it affected the whole city. So it was I guess it would have been best to zoom out and then come back in,
That's why I saw it in my head. Like in the movie, they always do the faraway shot for, like, the White House gets hit with the alien ship beam or whatever, and then boom.
Right.
You know.
So that's kind of where I added your shadow imprint. I put your blinding blast, deafening boom, pulse rocks, blue and pink light permeates everything and everyone, and then I put in stars just so we know to add it the shadow imprint of massive tentacles were blackened into the structure, and then it goes on to your just as dawn breaks. Does that work?
Sure.
You know, I it's totally your chapter. It's not mine. But it just there's visuals in my head. I blame the caffeine to some degree, but
Well,
I enjoyed the scene.
Don't
yes,
forget,
we
we're gonna
notice
be.
you're talking faster and faster.
Don't forget, we're gonna go back through and edit all this. If you have notes to
Sure.
make on it, write the notes down.
I am,
So
I
when
am.
we come back and edit this, we
But I'm
can look
thinking
at
like
it.
maybe, and
Because
everything's filled with stillness and silence.
the end
and
goal
then all you can
is
hear
to put
is-
out a good book. So if you've got notes, write them down.
Right. I mean, this is just.
Right, I'm just making a record.
And by all means, yeah,
Tons
make a
of-
reference now. I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Tons of editing.
right
to
after
do.
explosion, there's none but silence, except maybe what do you call it? Broken only by dogs barking. Something like that. I don't know.
chickens.
It is London. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's chickens about, but
I mean, chickens are funnier.
This is true.
yeah, it might be close to dawn by now. I don't know.
Or a single goat.
What is
Why
it
would
doing
a
there?
goat be there?
Huh?
Why would a goat be there?
Why not? Goats do what they want. They are the original gangsters. Goats like just, I'm a goat bitch. So,
All right. Well, overall, I thought this was an excellent chapter.
was it a success?
Yeah, I think it's great, and I really liked it, and I love that we were putting humor into it, and I thought it was freaking hilarious. So yes, I'm super excited about this chapter.
Good. I could use a win. This week was kind of rough for me. So I got lucky. I wrote this early in the week because the end of my week sucked. So I wrote it when it was good. So
Yeah, the weather is changing, and it's just kind of had my mood all like
Yeah.
blah. So
Well,
I needed the laugh.
That's the thing. Like, I'm hyper, and yet I'm very sleepy.
I know. It's just.
It-
Ugh.
my
I've
sinuses
been
have
so
beat the hell
blah.
out of
I'm
me.
like behind on book reviews. I'm behind on writing.
I
I'm
do
behind
love
on
this
freaking
season, though.
everything. I
Just
like
takes a big getting
Halloween.
used to.
I like
Well, I like
the
wearing
dressing
layers
up, and I like the
Yeah, but-
decorating, and I like the creepy factor. My oldest clone is going as Klaus for Halloween, so that's like super fun.
Klaus.
I am going as
Huh?
Hammond.
Who's
Oh,
Klaus?
Klaus from Umbrella Academy.
Oh,
I have a kilt.
God, I haven't. I gotta
He was
rewatch
kind of
that.
wearing a
I forgot
skirt.
He
so
was wearing a
much.
dress.
So yeah, I get to like paint my son's nails
saw
and
him
like
in
put
something else
eyeliner
when I
and
was
everything
seeing it.
on him, and it would be. But I don't know. I think it'll be a fun costume to throw together.
Yeah. You know what? Let's take a break. When we
Okay.
come back, we got some things to talk about, some announcements, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll be back in a minute.
Why my drippings will go?
Because you were listening to the Dark and Stormy Nights podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, or Podbean.
Then what are we talking about?
Me.
Well, you know what? We could just steer it to her.
You do know
and
we're
the
recording.
No, I did not know that.
Welcome back.
You truly are.
My mic wasn't even on.
Tears always complaining she only gets her 5 minutes. So
But Tears episode isn't next week. Next week's a plotting episode. We're actually plotting the end of the book, I think.
I don't know. I mean,
think that it can
okay,
be wrapped
it's
up in
soon,
the-
but I
Look.
don't know what's next.
I left the breadcrumbs in place, I think. Look, my episode was mostly breadcrumbs, a little bit of a fight, and a little bit of humor.
I kind of agree. I think that it can be wrapped up in the next 3 chapters.
Doesn't mean it has to, though. We have to
But
see
why
how it
would you drag
goes.
it out longer than you need to? The fact
Well,
of
no,
the
I
matter
mean
is,
it has to. We end it where it feels right.
Well, what do we want to do?
I have put Desmond where he needs to be. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I have given Desmond what he needs
Mm-hmm.
to finish this off. Right, we gave a big, huge signal flare where they are, so the team knows how to find them.
Okay. fair
Crow
enough.
is in pieces in the corner. Okay,
he's out of the
He's
game.
out of the game. Everything has fallen into place. This is what we needed. In one chapter, I was able to drive it all into one little corner. Okay, so all we need is I think we need a chapter for the team, right? To be like, look, there's a signal fire. That's where we need
They're
to
gonna
go.
have to find Crow. We need to figure out what's happening with him.
Well, he's a pile
Crow.
of clothes.
Yeah, Crow is a pile on the ground.
Right. They need to collect his lantern
He's been left
and
behind.
his suit. so that if he ever is reinstated, he isn't in the garbage. You know.
I think they'll file him in a cabinet at their
I think he goes.
M666.
Yeah, I think he goes back to MI666.
Yeah. It's in some kind of like glass sarcophagus or
Storage.
something like that.
I literally thought it was a locked drawer,
So,
like just forgotten.
well, yeah,
Until he
yeah.
reconstitutes himself.
Oh, like what is it? Idiocracy.
He's a cold file until they come back.
Oh
in.
yeah. He's at the top of a garbage heap.
Yeah. It's been like decommissioned. Like MI666 is decommissioned in the future, and like things get recycled. And
You know
sold
what would
off
actually
and-
make the most sense? If you ever see the cremation drawers inside a mausoleum.
See, Tier, that's the next one we were talking about. We could do the romance as the next story we write, right? Or we could also do
The Return of Crow.
the Return of Crow in the future.
And
We
now
could. We had originally
I'm
talked
hearing-
about making Crow retire when everybody he cared about was dead. But
in
in
a
this
new
case,
world, he
he's
doesn't
kind of
understand.
been retired, even though he didn't have a choice here.
You can
so
come back and we can write like a Rorschach-y kind of story.
That's yeah.
That's what we're talking about, like
Fish
a
out
noir.
of water, adapting to his new environment.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
the hot hell
Maybe in
is
the
this?
70s with cars buzzing by.
Yeah, but we didn't mention the romance on the air, so nobody knows what the hell you're talking about.
You're welcome. Well, I think we should ask, like on the
Yeah, we can ask the writing community.
we can
and
ask the
stuff.
community. So on if you're not already subscribed to us, the Dark and Stormy Nights on Twitter is at the Dark Stormy K1. So go follow
Or
us there for
Comment on the website. That works too.
yeah. The website's
Sure.
a great place. But yeah, so those are the two best real-time ways to get a hold of us.
I think it'll come down to a Twitter poll. The way we did it when we first started, we had a random generator of genres
I think
and
I'm going to
settings.
repurpose that. We have that Discord right now,
Mhm.
and I was thinking about repurposing the Discord for the show.
Okay.
So because barely anybody belongs to it for the writing community, but if we
Right.
used it just for the show as a good way to get a hold of us easily, so that you could comment. I wish we had a way to put this. Well, we do. I could start putting us up on Twitch when we're doing the show.
Don't people on Twitch use Discord?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is we could start doing the show live on Twitch,
Oh, that's great.
and then they'll hear all those long pauses in my
Nah,
conversation.
I don't think I'm comfortable with the live.
So I don't think it's that different, honestly. It's just that I
Oh.
cut out some of our bigger mistakes.
I try to be better about the swearing. I don't know how much
Oh, I don't give a
how
fuck
much
about swearing.
success I've had with that.
Evidently.
Grow up. They're just words.
I mean, some people don't like words. Anyway.
Bad words.
Anyway. No, but I mean, like, yeah, the whole purpose of the romance was just that it could be something short and sweet that we could put out for
Right, but I think the
Pride
same,
Month.
That's true.
yeah,
we don't
that's-
always have to do long form.
Right. I
Well,
was thinking
okay,
something short and
but-
sweet that
but-
we could.
We could do what you're saying because you're saying you didn't think it would take too long to write the whole thing.
No,
right?
and that's what I'm saying.
And
is
then, so
it
if that
would
were the
be-
case, though, we could write the Adventure of Crow, also, as two separate things.
Yeah,
But we have enough time for both.
maybe so.
So, plus, I think we're going to start doing more author interviews and stuff like that. So,
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason that we can't do both. I think it is going to take a Twitter poll to see where we go, but maybe the romance between Philip and Wilhelm would just be like a short side project that we can get input through the show on it. We can plot it out a little bit and stuff, and then just try to have it out by Pride Month so we can donate any money that's made to
Sure.
to a charity.
I like it.
Wow. You have to tell your friends if you want us to donate because I don't think we're currently doing anything to make money at this point.
No.
No,
the
the
book.
idea is to
Oh,
Any
right,
profits
the
that the
book.
book
All right.
makes.
Fair enough.
Right. Yes, we currently make zero money.
We also
Well,
have
negative,
0
really.
books put out, so
Okay.
that could be part of it.
There's a bit of startup capital involved in this.
But if you want to sponsor our show in any way, let us know. I'm happy to put, slides up on our thing on YouTube or
Praising your
mention you
awesomeness.
during the show, or we can work something out. Put ads up on our website.
Yeah, we have no problem advertising for people who.
I dabble in prostitution, so
Oh, good God! Nice.
Oh yeah, this is one of those ones where I have to explain it's a joke, right?
That is the world we're living in.
It's not. It's totally not a joke.
Anyway, moving on.
Wow, I'm seeing Deuce Bigelow now, where he gets $5. You get paid for this? Yes.
That's great. So anyway, we're just going to keep this moving on.
So next week, next episode is a planning episode. We're going to plan
It is
the
but,
following.
But let's kind of figure out what you were intending with your existing chapter, as far as the
Okay, chapter
breadcrumbs
I
that
just
you
wrote.
left.
Mm-hmm.
I gave us a signal flare for the team to know where to go.
Right.
So you're saying they what?
I think you could.
They see lights and they're like, we should go check that
So
out.
whoever ends up writing
Well,
it,
they're going to notice that Crow's missing.
well, yeah,
Will they
Crow took off
care?
in the middle of conversation.
But Crow does things like that.
Well, here's the thing. You can interpret this any number of ways you want. The fact of the matter is you could say that Roberta just busted in, grabbed the staff, and took off in front of everybody.
okay. Now
Could
that,
say that.
that would make that's a little more actionable.
I don't think it works.
Why not?
Because it wouldn't have been Crow chasing Roberta. It would have been the whole team chasing Crow.
Maybe,
chasing
but Crow
Roberta.
can move faster than everybody. I mean, it's just the case. The guy is jumping from rooftop to rooftop.
Yeah, it's easy
like
to
freaking
explain.
Batman.
Like they get the crew together and they're trying to follow and they lose
Crow
sight.
can run faster than anybody. Then he would have caught up to Roberta.
You're right, but what if Roberta hopped into an already running vehicle, crashed the vehicle, hopped out of the vehicle, kept running? You know what I'm saying? She got a head start.
Well,
There's any number of things you can say.
No, or you could say that Crow's tied to the lantern and can't be lost. You can't.
That's true,
you
too.
Can't shake him if you have his lantern.
Yeah, he might have been like busy with something. And she
I
grabbed
wouldn't
it,
make
and
him crazy
as
fast.
it got far enough from him, you know, he noticed it and he's like, "Oh shit!"
Like
You
if
know.
anybody's watching American Gods,
Is season 3 up yet?
I don't think so.
I am-
God, yeah.
Neil, get on it. I'm sick of waiting.
I
There's
think that's more-
nothing else. There's no other
Isn't that
reason.
Showtime's fault?
It's Stars.
Or
isn't it?
Stars? Okay.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
no other reason to have Stars except for American Gods.
Well, they did Black Flag too, didn't they? That was awesome.
Yeah, but there's other ways to watch Black Flag.
Okay, but at any rate, my point is that minor spoiler. The undead wife, whenever he looks in the main.
You mean dead wife?
well, kind of undead.
No. They call her dead wife.
Oh, okay. At any rate, the main character of the show, whenever she looks in his direction, is like a glowing pillar of light. I'm thinking that might be true for Crow and his lantern.
They are a love to be.
So
For the
I don't think
ages.
he's crazy fast. I think he just, whenever he needs to find it, it's just.
He's a damn ninja, dude. We always
It's like a
for-
sunset.
This
Whenever-
reminds me of like when you're playing Assassin's Creed and you
Okay.
change your view.
Yeah,
so you
that
could
eagle vision.
Yes, and everything like light whatever you need to see lights up.
Oh, my
Yeah, the
vamp-
key points
white
are
or
like in
red?
gold. Yeah.
My vampire vision in Oblivion does that.
So Crow has video game vision.
Well, it's
Well, he's
you could
undead.
I could see life.
I don't.
is
Yeah,
what it is.
I don't think he's seeing normally ever.
That's true. Yeah, I mean he's got those goggle things and everything. You know, yeah, he's a spirit.
suit.
He doesn't
spirit
have
trapped in a
organic
suit.
eyes.
right?
I mean,
So he sees life.
whatever a ghost would see, that's what he's seeing.
It's shades of gray and life. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I
and
like
and
it.
his lantern.
So yeah, so don't make him
I
crazy
wouldn't
fast.
doubt it if he
ninja.
could see through the lantern.
He just can slowly track it like Frankenstein. You just can't shake him.
You know what I'm saying?
I would have to imagine that he can sense the lantern at all times because that's his soul.
Right. He's tethered to it.
Right.
Yeah, if he got too far away, he'd probably fall over as a pile of clothes. So I
Right.
don't think he can
I'm
get too far
tempted
from
to
it.
make one. I'm serious.
A lantern
The
or a suit?
his lantern.
Yeah, Loki's been on a prop kick.
Yeah, but I'm getting better at it. I am getting better at it.
Yeah.
One day I'll be decent. So I'm going to make a working flamethrower.
Okay, so
Well,
your
Hammond's flamethrower.
your idea is that basically they know that Crow has taken off after Roberta, but they didn't all run right after him.
Well, they could have, but I don't know. Yeah.
Well, first off,
Hmm.
they're still dealing with Robert just coming back and a bunch of other things. I
True.
mean, that just happened. All the feels just
Well,
happened.
He tends to stand on the periphery of the crowd. So if they're all gathered together and then he suddenly darts off, they might be like, "What was that about?"
Or you can write up Tim. What's his name? Riverbottom.
Tedrick?
Tedrick. Yeah, you can write up. You know, he's seeing Tedrick off. You know, and then Tedrick drifts off into the mist or whatever like that, and then she snatches his freaking lantern, and he's not even. And then he just bolts off after her. Nobody even notices that he left.
So when they come to investigate, they're just investigating the light then.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my
boom.
point. Is you're sending up a flare, but what is it that our team is going to be like? Hey, we should go check that out.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like the Ghostbusters firehouse when the spirits erupt.
Okay, so I didn't describe all of this, but the fact of the matter is I did say a pink and blue light went, passed through everybody for miles.
Yeah, I don't
right?
remember the colors.
I said pink and blue.
Okay.
But nonetheless, it could have rubbed at your soul. It could have, like, pulled at it so you could see it, like, separate from the body just a little bit.
Well, that's
and then
creepy.
go back. Right. So that is definitely the kind of thing I think the crew would.
God, I'm seeing everything in movie vision. What was that? Damn it. The guy
Um,
who shines his eyes.
Okay, so maybe what we need to do is
Riddick.
just have
Yeah.
it come in where the crew is going. Okay, so we know
Necromongers.
because of Tedric, they know that this thing is still here. But all right, so how do we find it? What's next? Where we go looking? Boom, flare of light. Maybe we start there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's just a weird, and you could follow the broken glass, and
Scurrying rats
Yeah,
running
once
the wrong
they're over
direction.
there.
You know?
Well, I'm saying though that, like I said, this light passed through everything or whatever. I assume that every window is broken out in the opposite direction of the blast. You know what I'm saying?
So it's more of an implosion shockwave, like an air, like all the oxygen being sucked in one location, kind of.
No,
pull-
the glass isn't being pulled towards the explosion; it's away.
So the glass is being blown into the houses.
It depends on which direction the window's facing. If the wind, if you are north of the blast, all the glass goes north. If you're south of the blast, all the glass goes south. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, way. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
You said that weird. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
You understood it? Weird.
Explosion acts like an explosion. Got it.
Yes. Explosion is explosion, so acts like explosion.
Jesus Christ. What I wonder though is, are we going to do the super duper happy ending, where we do the epilogue chapter? Where at the end of Star Wars and everyone gets medals. Are we going to do like dealing with the fallout and how people's lives go on for a few paragraphs?
I say no.
That's all I'm allowed to sing because R-I-double-A.
Yes, life goes on.
No, I think that the final chapter shows.
Except Chewbacca.
I think the final chapter shows our team celebrating. Hey, this is a win. We got the book. We sent Desmond to jail, and then after that, it shows not so much of a win.
Hashtag. Totally lost it. Never mind. I'm way over caffeinated.
He's vibrating.
A little bit. He is
Oh
kind of.
yeah, I was saying justice for Chewbacca because that was crap.
Justice for Chewie.
Yeah.
Free my boy Chewie.
Why did he need to get a medal? Everyone else got a medal. What's that crap about?
I know. Right? Well, it might get
Oh.
tangled in his hair. I don't know. Could be.
I mean,
yeah.
he had the bandolier.
Like they all get drunk and everything like that, and there's a big, huge party at the Brownstone.
Yeah, they're having shawarma, and
Yeah.
they celebrate
I
their
mean,
win.
even C-3PO got
Nibbles and
gold-plated.
Dale wake up next to each other with headaches. And
Oh no, that's so wrong.
that's how you make Spider Pig. Spider Pig.
No.
No.
Ah.
I was half paying attention to whatever that was. No.
Come on.
No.
Live a little.
So wrong.
So where do we want to just like end it? Like the end.
I think that it needs to end with Desmond, Talbot, and Caleb.
So with the villains.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we
yeah,
think.
it ends with Desmond realizing that he's been
Yeah, but
So-
okay.
turned into this.
Okay. We have Desmond kind of builds the machine, does whatever, right? Shit goes awry. They stop him. Blah blah blah. Jail. They go to send him off, or whatever. Cut away. The heroes are celebrating, having a good time. Blah blah
Right.
blah.
So there is a little bit of that.
Final
Yeah.
chapter.
Just not the final note.
Final chapter. Patty Wagon arrives at Talbot.
Okay.
Right.
So what you thought was the ending.
Here's
Yes.
the other thing is that so we felt that maybe
Okay, I could dig that.
not this chapter, but the chapter before. Actually, probably both. The chapter with Desmond's nightmare, and on top of him being taken over by this thing, we felt that it may have changed him a bit.
Oh yeah.
So when he wakes up and he's like, "Wait, I can work with this." Are we talking the same Desmond, or are we kind of working with a new man here?
Well, I gave you very little, didn't I? But
yeah, you gave me a sentence.
I think he's,
but I feel that was
himself
weird. I felt like
just changed.
No, I felt like that was weird, wasn't it? Wasn't it a little weird?
What?
Him picking it all up and I can work with this. That's not
Maybe he's found some confidence in
not
himself.
much.
I
You
don't-
know,
I
he's,
don't
he
know that
sees what he
it's
can do when he
confidence.
just leans in. Be the villain.
But he wasn't. Look, he wasn't in control, but I don't think he wasn't witness to what was going on.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, I think he knows what he was looking at. He knows what was going on. In fact, I think the plans were on display for him to view the whole time. You know.
Right. So you're
Well,
saying
the sa-
Desmond is what? Changed or not changed?
I think
He's
definitely
evolved.
changed. Yeah.
His
And I
meat
think-
brain had to learn the math.
I think he's changed in ways
He
that
knows that
Talbot
machine.
and Caleb aren't going to anticipate, but won't
I
necessarily
agree.
know.
They kind of groomed him from the time of being a child to become this person for him, and I don't think that he's going to understand what he's getting back.
He's
Hey.
no longer a puppet. The strings are cut.
And
I don't think that that's necessarily true. He was never a puppet. Well, I guess he kind of was.
It was engineered.
No, he
He
was
was
a pawn.
created.
He was a pawn
He
on
was
all
created.
fronts. He's been a pawn for ages, and he just now understands that. Linda freed him. Linda let him know you're a
But I
pawn,
also
you're
feel
nothing.
like he's going to come out of this a little bit different. I think it's going to be less of that overconfident, arrogant, almost funny character, and he's going to be a little bit more ruthless, maybe almost
I think he knows
manic,
more magic.
kind of.
Huh?
I think he's more competent magically as well.
I think he learned from
More
Linda. I
focused.
think that Linda left
That'll
the
be part of
doors
it.
to the library open, and he could see everything.
Like he's putting together all that he's learned.
And what is it? Dream time is 20 times faster than reality, or something like that.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's insane,
I
right?
mean, you spend like an hour and a half in
So-
the REM state, but really it's about a minute and a half that just becomes decompressed.
So imagine, if you will, that all that time Linda had him captive, which was probably just a few days or something like
It's like
that.
15 times as fast, something like that.
You know, it was probably like over a year in dream time.
But
to
also,
learn
don't
all
you
that.
think he would feel somewhat violated and
But Linda's gone. I mean, what?
she's gone now.
Well, that's why he's building the machine. He's rebuilding
Yeah,
it to get rid of.
destroy everything, Faye. Yes.
Right, but I'm saying like that would just lead him to be more.
Slam the gate shut and bolt it.
Enter the modern era, a world of men and not of gods.
Right.
No masters.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that he would see at this point finding out anything.
Well, maybe one master.
Finding out about Talbot and what's going on. And the pieces fall into place as soon as he sees him, I think. But he knows he can use him.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to kind of
Oh, no, he's
portray
gonna-
that realization
he's gonna
of
kill
who
Talbot.
Talbot is. When
Yeah,
he,
but not immediately.
not in
I think
this
he's going to
book.
drain him. I think he's going to milk him dry first and then kill him. I think Desmond's a monster now.
I
Well,
think that he would have to see what Talbot's plans were and how they align with his own.
Well, no. I mean, don't
So-
you think that Talbot representing God and that whole mystical bend is just as dangerous or upsetting to him as all the monsters?
Honestly, I think Desmond would probably, at this point, try to turn the tables on Talbot and see if he can use him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I think that he's going to have Talbot empty his cache of mystical things.
I think that
into
had
his pockets.
Talbot gotten Desmond before this whole Linda thing, he would have ended up with what he was expecting. But I think that now Desmond is going to walk into this situation, see if Talbot is of use to him, and maybe turn the tables.
Right,
Like, he's
yeah.
a different person now. This has changed him.
Yeah, definitely. It's made him far more dangerous, I think.
I agree.
You're just an old, weak man hiding behind your plans.
So, all right, I like it. I like what we got to work with, but we definitely will focus on the next 3, which I honestly think might be the last 3 chapters.
I agree.
In fact, I think it might exactly be 3 chapters.
Actually, yeah, that is disconcerting. What does Talbot have besides power, money?
access to the
manipulation.
Vatican vault of
Right,
mysterious
right.
things.
But can he use any of the mystical things? I don't
Mm.
think he can.
It doesn't
He
matter.
didn't need
I
to.
think
He
he's going to
released it. He
I think
wanted.
That's
to.
my point. When Desmond turns on him, he's got almost no defense.
No, I really think that it is forcing Talbot to give up everything, to make him suffer before he kills him,
You mean like trading places? Have him live in the streets?
have him lose everything, right before his own eyes.
No, I think that how you hurt Talbot is to reveal him before his church.
Drag him out of the shadows.
It's gonna be a little
His-
tougher in
I
an
see
age
that.
where recording devices aren't a thing.
No, yeah, but it doesn't need to be a recording device.
Actually,
Do it
no.
live.
That could be shown behind a curtain while mass is
Well, here's
happening.
the thing: is that Talbot is trying to bring about the next Inquisition, right?
Yeah.
So he's the one who's actually causing all of this havoc, releasing magical items and everything. All that Desmond would have to do to bring Talbot down is reveal that to
Expose him.
to his church.
That's what I'm saying. If they could somehow have an argument, maybe you know how they had those vacuum tubes. They
Yeah,
also had these
oh.
sounding horns where you would actually speak and communicate with other.
Well,
floors and
actually, we've
submarine
set a
and stuff like that.
precedence. We had a blimp with his image broadcast onto it, so we're beyond that.
Yeah, he's kind of probably mistrusted by members of the church right now.
But no,
But
it would be
no, but
smart.
like the technology is technically there.
Oh, you're right. It is a recording, and they did actually have them. They could record onto wax, onto pottery.
It's not just that. But no, I like your idea that maybe he waits until the last item is to be, till Talbot is about to like make off with the last item from the Vatican or whatever, to throw him under the bus and like let them
catch
know.
him in the act.
Yeah, catch him in the act taking it.
And in fact, I introduced the Victrola, which was made in 1906 in New Jersey. We're taking place in 1910. So the recording technology is actually
Did we say that?
commercially available. It was
What?
in my chapter. I have a Victrola. But it's
we said
actually
1910 though.
Well, we
But
said
yeah,
ish.
that's what we're aiming for. Before World War II and in that whole.
I just remember Victorian era. I didn't think we.
So also, what was I gonna say? Oh, this is all book 2 stuff, though. If and when we ever
Yeah, but
pick up a sequel,
it's good to dream.
it is. But also, oh crap, I had a point. Now I lost it.
Sorry, that's probably my fault. I derailed you.
No, I had a point. I can't remember what it is. I don't know. It had something to do with Talbot and exposing him. That sounded wrong.
Or did it? He is a priest.
Come on.
All right.
But yeah, it would all be book 2 stuff. But I'm sure we can work it all out.
All right. Do we have anything else?
I'm good on my end.
Now it's time to say goodnight to all our company.
I don't think you could sing that one either.
Good night. See you next time. Oh, wait. We do want to tell you
What
to
was
go
that,
check us
Romper
out
Room?
at...
What was
No,
It was like
Mickey Mouse Club.
Oh God.
The Dark Stormy K1 on Twitter, the darkandstormynights.podbean.com if you want to go listen to us directly. The darkandstormynights.vegvasirmedia.com. That is our website. Go check it out. We do book reviews and other things.
yeah, just go
We got
to.
one coming up, don't we? We got another book
Yeah,
review.
I know. I'm sorry. Like
Odin owes
I
us
said,
a
this
book
weather
too.
is kicking my ass, and
I
I'm
barely
so far
opened it.
behind.
You got to give me a little bit of time. I'm a slow reader,
These
and
people
I
are
have a lot
waiting.
of projects on my hand.
All right. Okay, guys.
Anyway, but if you want to submit your book to be reviewed, then go to vegvasirmedia.com and go to the book review submissions page. You can see a bunch of other books that have been submitted. You can read and review as well and submit your book so that others can do the same.
And Tears got a book out. Where do you find that?
Amazon, The Cost of Justice by Nova Drake.
And so don't forget to go check that out because she is working on follow-ups to that book, and you want to be caught up by the time those come out.
Yep.
So we'll see you next week, guys. Bye.